What's up, YouTube? Got another ground yellow jacket nest we're taking care of. This one's out of my buddy's parents' farm. They have a yard service crew that comes in, and they were down in the pasture clearing through some brush, and one guy got hit pretty good a few times in his hand and his arm, or his leg I mean. So we're out here right now letting the vac do its thing for a minute. Stay tuned and I'll get you to the video. Thanks.
This video was filmed on September 15th, 2024. These are downy Yellowjackets, or Vespula Flavopilosa. Towards the end of the video, I'll have some close-up shots of a worker and a queen, if anyone wants to take a look and help me verify that. As you can see here, pretty much as soon as I got down in the area and set the vac up, they did start to swarm. If you look real close at the video, you can see a couple hundred that just immediately came out and are buzzing around everywhere now. The method that I'm using to remove these is I'm using a shop vac with some water and a little bit of dish soap in it. Right now in the video, I'm still initially getting set up, but typically I'll try to get as many sucked into that vacuum as I can before I start to disturb the ground. Since there was so many today, I did use duct tape where my zipper meets the veil. I'll have a video linked here from earlier this summer, but I had another ground nest removal that I was using the same technique on, and I ended up getting several that flew into my suit, into my veil, and I did end up getting stung in the head 7 times in that video. You'll be able to start seeing a little bit better, but there's a rock right at the end of that vacuum hose, and the entrance was on the back side of that rock. So right now I'm just clearing some stuff out of the way, but you'll see me kind of hack away at their numbers before I dig up the actual nest itself. And anytime I tapped or was near, the edge of that rock with the hose, I typically was getting a few out, every second. A nest like this one in Pennsylvania only lasts 1 year. So the nest itself started back in the spring. One fertile queen from the year before found the location, started the nest, began to make comb, lay eggs, make workers, so on and so forth. This is approaching the end of the season now, so you'll see if you look closely, a little bit later in the video, but there was about 15 queens in the nest. Now, like I said, only one of them was this year's queen. The rest of those were the queens that were getting ready to go out and breed, and they would have been next year's queens for future colonies. Now at this point, I'm still not 100% sure exactly where the nest is located. Typically they are right by wherever the hole is, but sometimes they can be a couple feet away. So if you watch a lot of my videos, I like to use a shovel or, a crowbar or something like that and just kind of beat it on the ground, tap it around. And usually that's a good indicator, and it starts to help me kind of narrow in where I think the nest is based on the sound and how many are coming out whenever I tap. Here's a quick little shot of the area. So it's down by a barn and a pasture that gets mowed, and some of that brush there they were looking to get cleared out because it was just starting to get a little overgrown. I sped this up and I also cut some out, but once I got that hose where I liked it, where when the returning foragers or those that swarmed came out were getting sucked up, I let the shop vac run for probably about a half hour and went and talked to my friend who was actually there. Just trying to get those numbers down. Everything you can do before you start to destroy that original entrance will just make it easier. Alright, now is when I'm going to start to actually dig this hole up a little bit. I do apologize, there's that flower that kind of comes in and out of the screen occasionally. I wasn't aware of that. And I actually had a second phone in my hand that was recording, but somehow I managed to delete the video, before I could actually see it later. But we're getting pretty close here. I was stepping around, and the way that grass and the roots were set up, whenever I would step on it, it would start to open up. There, that white piece you can see, that's actually the top of the nest itself. Even though these are underground nests, just like the aerial nests, they still build these out of paper that they would, create from chewing on trees and other types of hardwood. One problem with the shop vac that I do have is it is pretty easy to get it clogged up. So you're going to see here, I actually take the hose off and then blow out the hose because I was noticing the sound of the vacuum was picking up. So there were some yellow jackets that I got to re-catch in here. This happens from time to time. I still really like those bucket head shop vacs for a couple different reasons, but yeah, the design of those, the way that they go in, it like 90s when it goes into the bucket itself. And that's a common place where if you're dealing with a little bit of like muddy soil or in this case like the grass, it can get wedged in there, if you're trying to suck up too much at once. So I'm going to keep working at this here. I'm slowly kind of using the nozzle to chisel away at that nest a little bit. These underground paper nests are usually pretty fragile. And here is where, if you're looking close, if you see the larger ones, some of those are queens, some of them might be drones as well. So I'm using the vacuum nozzle right now, almost like an eraser. And as I'm going back and forth, I'm taking that outer envelope off of the comb. The comb itself is a little bit more sturdy in these nests than the outer layer, but there's a lot inside that are either, the immature workers or the queens or the adult workers that are coming in, and I'm just trying to suck as many of those up before I start to kind of tear that apart. And the queens in particular are the ones that I'm trying to, make sure I get caught. Alright, so there you can kind of see the remainder of the nest. All in all, I mean, it wasn't a bad sized nest. I believe the next video that I'll be releasing was probably about a week later after this. But the next video will be southern yellow jackets. And the nest that I removed there was, I would say it was easily 3 or 4 times that size. I mean, massive colony compared to this. This colony had about 4 layers of comb. As I said earlier, these nests are very fragile, so it's hard to take them apart layer by layer like I like to do typically to give you a good shot. And again, I apologize for that plant being in the shot. I really didn't know that was happening, until the end. But what you're going to see here is just me. I speed this up a little bit, but I'm just going to bag it up in a grocery bag and fill the hole back in, and that's pretty much it. All right, here's some shots of a worker up close. This was afterwards. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I believe these are Vespula Flavopilosa. I know they're not southern Yellowjackets, and I'm pretty certain these are not easterns as well. I'm still new to identifying them. It is something that interests me. There's a shot of a queen next to a worker. And to learn about, identify them, this is the book that I've been using. It's a great book. Covers all of North America, more, not just Yellowjackets, it's all kinds of social wasps. Thanks for checking out my video. If you do like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. Every little bit helps. If you have any questions or comments, please throw them below and I'll get back to you. And I'll be getting future content out soon. Thanks.